Okay, so one of the first cards inside this machine is the Realtek network card that you see here in front of you. Now these network Realtek cards, some of them, I'm using the 4K camera here, I don't think you can see that. Talk about dark, which is kind of ridiculous. And here it is on the other one. So basically what's happening is inside here we have the connection for the RJ45 and the connection for thin net. And these Realtek cards are great because you don't need to have the driver disk belongs to it. You'll find that most of the operating systems will actually run with these straight out of the box. So I find the Realtek ones, along with the 3Com ones, to be some of the best cards to use for setup of an older machine, because it means you don't have to go ahead and have the driver disk handy for that particular card. So once I have the network up and running on the machine, I'm able to then connect to my network, and then I'm able to install all the software and drivers that I like. Now, I know some people talk about the fact that they have the likes of a sort of I have another light here, I'm just going to put it on top of it. They have sort of so you're getting rolling bars now with the LED, see that? Rolling bars. You get the rolling bars in the Hi8? No, I don't. Hey. So I know some people talk about the fact that they have sort of a hardware that's set up, and then what they do then is they sort of clone that and use that for all the machines. But I kind of like to do it in, from the beginning, from scratch every time. But that's just me. So that's the network card that was in that machine. I have a light in my other hand here, so I apologise. So the next card we have here is the ESS card. The ESS audio drive cards. ESS audio drive. I've always liked these cards. They've always been good fun to have. That rolling bar is interesting. I don't see it with the overhead one, but as soon as I put that one there, we get rolling bars. So the ESS card that's here, this particular one here now is a ESS 1938S, or otherwise known as the ESS Solo 1, as in Han Solo. This is a PCI card. You'll find that the ESS do have cards available in ISA, which is this style here. This is ISA. This is ISA 16-bit. So 16-bit refers to this piece and this piece. 8-bit would only be this piece here. Okay. So that's the ESS card we're using in that machine. I've just hit off the camera. And finally, we have the ATI video card. This is an ATI 3D card, but it also has DVDs. So you see here it says an ATI 3D, so 3D Rage 2 plus DVD. This is a 4 meg video card from ATI, and this particular card allows for the playback of 3D. This is otherwise known as the ATI 3D charger card. So this particular card allows for 3D playback, and allows for DVD playback, which is important on machines because this particular card has acceleration on it built in for DVD. You'll need something with MX technology. You won't be able to run a DVD with anything that hasn't got 3D technology, MX technology. It just won't let you do it. We've tried it before with the Pentium 120 and just point blank refuses. Maybe you had something a little bit faster, maybe you had some of the Pro chips, the Intel Pentium Pro, maybe with more power it could push it through, but I don't think so. I think the MMX extensions are vital to DVD playback. But that said, I think we're going to get away with a low end, sort of a 133, maybe 166. We might get away with MMX technology and playback DVD on this card. So that's the plan in future videos, is to use this video card and just basically upgrade the CPU on that machine we've just been looking at. And finally, I suppose you might be interested in this ancient piece of tech. This is a Handycam Pro. So it features such luxuries as a digital display, and it features such lovely features as a tape stuck inside the mechanism. Yeah, I know the tape actually isn't stuck, but it did get stuck a few times. This machine hadn't been turned on in so long. It's not working properly. One of the problems with it I can see is I can't really get I got a picture working on it. I can't see anything through the viewfinder when I record, but what I did was I plugged it straight into the TV and I got a picture, but it was an extremely dark picture. So I started to fiddle around with the autofocus part on top. Turns around the 4K picture here now. So I started to basically fiddle with the autofocus up here, which kind of worked one direction but wouldn't work the other direction. Had to kind of manually move it, so that wasn't working correctly. And then what I did was like I said, I plugged it in and I got some video picture, but it's very, very dark, and I couldn't get it to focus properly. I got the focus properly once where it kind of looked clear, but when I was focusing down on, let's say, the likes of, you know, this, and trying to get a bit of detail to it, it would just basically say no. So I'm just going to show it on this camera here. Here's the chip there. That's right as far as I can go, and it's still clear. Look at that. That's the detail you can get on the Sony. So I'm going to show the same on this fella. See how far we can go. Problem here is the lighting is, I'm getting a shadow off my own camera. So I can't, as soon as I go too close, I get the shadow of it. That's really annoying. So you can probably go as far as there, and you're getting your detail. So anyway, yeah, so that's that. Just thought it might be interesting. It rewinds tapes, it fast forwards them, but literally just before I made this video, the tapes had gotten stuck in it, and yeah, it's time for the retirement of this machine. But yeah, it's fascinating all the same. It's such a big chunk of a machine. Great at the time, because it would have been a lot smaller than its VHS tape equivalent. So VHS tape would be actually around about the size of this whole piece here. So you can imagine that this can actually be used in the hand, be a handy cam, and have good quality video, sort of on par with SVHS rather than sort of VHS, which would have been in the standard camera. If you had one of the big bruisers. Panasonic made big bruiser cameras that had those VHS tapes in them. So yeah, it's on par quality with SVHS, which is what's interesting. But yeah, so that's that fella. Just thought you might like to see that. So that's the end of this video, I reckon. So I'd like to say thanks very much for watching, and hopefully when we come back we'll be in 4K, and we won't have too much trouble with the lighting. I'll try to adjust the lighting and get used to the way this camera here works, in a hope to get a picture a bit better. As I said, that's it for the minute. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed coming back with me down nostalgia lane to have a look at some of these old machines. Thanks again. Bye bye.